Prophet Muhammad corrupted the teachings of the Bible. This is a claim that was made by atheist apologist Derek Lambert on his channel MythVision.
Muhammad is the one who's likely corrupting these materials from Christians and Jews.
However, is this claim true? In this video, I decided to investigate this claim. So, if you want to know if Prophet Muhammad really did corrupt the teachings of the Bible or not, then please watch this video until the very end. So, let's get started.
What Muslim apologists would like for you to believe is this. The earlier Jewish Torah and Christian Gospels were at one point divine revelation from God, but they corrupted them. Yet somehow this 7th century prophet has the pre-corrupted truth from the Torah and Gospel. If you ask for any evidence of this pre-corrupted Torah or Gospel, they have zilch. In fact, the evidence points to the reality that Muhammad is the one who's likely corrupting these materials from Christians and Jews.
We do have evidence that the Islamic position is the correct one. Because look at what Jesus believed. Jesus believed in one God. The belief of Jesus in the Bible itself is very similar to Muslims. It's not very similar to Trinitarian Christians. Now, this itself leads credence to the idea that maybe his belief differed from the people who claim to be Christians. He is again committing the non sequitur fallacy. The conclusion doesn't logically follow from the premises. He is claiming that if something comes later, then that later source is not reliable as the earlier one. But doesn't logically follow. Just because something comes later doesn't mean it's false. As a matter of fact, there are countless evidence that later evidence is more reliable than the previous evidence. For example, if you look at our understanding of dinosaurs, there at one point our theory was that dinosaurs did not have feathers. But later on, archaeologists actually find out that in China, the dinosaurs actually did have feathers. So our understanding of dinosaurs changed. So later theory prevailed over the previous theory. We all accepted the later theory. Same thing here. Just because Islam and the Quran came later doesn't mean that it is incorrect about its information about the Torah and the Injil.
When you look at Islam next to Mormonism, the parallels are almost eerie. Muhammad claimed Jews and Christians had corrupted their scriptures, so God gave him the Quran. Centuries later, though, Joseph Smith said radically similar things about Christianity. It had gone astray. So God sent him the Book of Mormon, written, he claimed, on golden plates delivered by an angel. Both men recycled older stories with their own spin, creating continuity with the past while carving out a bold break from it.
Daddy, chill.
Here he's committing the cherry-picking fallacy. He is only cherry-picking parts of Islam and Mormonism that match, but he's completely ignoring the parts that don't match, right? So let's take a look at the parts that don't match between Islam and Mormonism. Prophet ﷺ preached monotheism, where Joseph Smith preached paganism, where he worshipped 3 distinct beings called the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Paganism, monotheism, not the same. Prophet ﷺ believed Jesus was only a prophet, where Joseph Smith believed he was God, just like all the other Christians. Believing that Jesus was only a prophet versus believing that Jesus was God, not the same thing. Prophet ﷺ preached monotheism in a polytheistic society, right? Where Joseph Smith promoted a different version of Trinity in a Trinitarian society. Okay? Again, not the same thing. Prophet ﷺ was a brilliant military leader who won multiple battles, where Joseph Smith never fought in war. Okay, the two people are not the same. Prophet Muhammad followers defeated empires like the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire, 2 of the major empires at the time, and they carved out a civilization of their own with its own culture and unique history, and created an empire that lasted nearly 1,000 years. What did the Mormons do again? Prophet Muhammad's followers created a golden age of scientific achievement, which led to the invention of things like algebra, modern medicine, hospital. As a matter of fact, you probably wouldn't be able to use your little computer if it wasn't for Muslim scientists. Again, like what did Mormons do?
Brother, I asked a very good question.
Well, Mormonism is just Christianity with a different flavor. So these two things are not the same. So here he's committing the faulty comparison fallacy. Two things that has nothing to do with each other.
When I say the sleepers in the cave story in the Quran is lifted straight out of the Christian tale from centuries earlier, it sounds shocking. But once you know the Christian legend and then compare it to the Quran's version, the connection becomes undeniable. By the end of this episode, you'll see it clearly.
Again, where is the evidence that Prophet ﷺ was stealing these stories from Christians and Jews? is just an assertion you're making, complete baseless assertion, and you keep repeating this lie as if it's a fact.
Muhammad didn't reveal history. He recycled a legend, and yet today, millions believe it actually happened.
So basically, he says that millions believe. I'm sorry, buddy. Muslims are not millions. Muslims are billions. Okay? Get your facts straight.
Millions. These young men lived in a city full of idol worship. They refused to bow down to many gods and insisted on worshiping the one true God. To escape persecution, they hid inside a cave, along with their faithful dog. God then caused them to fall into a miraculous sleep. The Quran says 300 years, plus a little more. When they finally woke up, they thought they'd only been out for part of a day. One of them went to buy food, but the coins he carried were so old that people instantly knew something supernatural had happened. Word spread quickly. These men had been preserved for hundreds of years. There were 3, the 4th of them being their dog. And they will say there were 5, the 5th of them being their dog, guessing at the unseen. And they will say there were 7, and 8 of them was their dog. Say, my Lord is most knowing of their number. None knows them except a few. So do not argue about them except with an obvious argument, and do not inquire about them among the spectators from anyone. And yet notice what it leaves blurry. Their exact number. Was it 3, 5, 7 with a dog? The Quran doesn't commit. Instead, it emphasizes only God knows. And that's exactly the problem. If God was truly the one revealing this story, without looking at the earlier legend, wouldn't he already know and tell you? Muhammad didn't receive a brand new revelation from heaven. He was recycling an old legend already famous before the Quran.
Derek, let me educate you on logic and how it works. What you just did there is called a logical fallacy known as argument from silence. So basically what he's saying is that because the Quran or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is silent on a particular matter, therefore his position is correct. No. Just because the Quran is silent on something doesn't mean your position is correct. It doesn't prove that the author of the Quran or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't know what the actual number was. Imagine this, right? You're talking to someone and you're accusing someone of like stealing. You're saying that, hey, did you steal this book from a library? And the person doesn't say anything. And you say, I knew you stole it. No, like that's not going to hold up in court. Just because the person is silent doesn't mean that he's guilty. Same thing here. Just because the Quran doesn't say what the actual number is doesn't mean the Quran doesn't know or the author of the Quran doesn't know. It doesn't logically follow. Like seriously, like you need to make better argument than this if you're gonna make videos against Islam.
So yeah, I guess that's about it. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the video, then please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, then please consider becoming a patron or a YouTube member. And yeah, inshallah, I'll see you guys next time, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.